Everybody, what is going on? It's Bill with Franklin Loan Center, and here we are, tax time again. I know it's not quite to the crunch time for those of us that like to procrastinate a bit. I got months, and I'm not even worried about it. So, but it is a good time to talk again about possibly some bank statement loans, right? So, as the headline says, or the description says, like I hear this all the time. Clients come to me, they're self-employed, and they're getting told all over the place they don't qualify full documentation with their tax returns because they've got an aggressive tax plan, right? And they're just doing the smart thing. And so that just, I mean, it's like, well, okay, use bank statement programs, right? I mean, yeah, they come at a higher rate, blah, blah, blah. But what, I mean, like, what, why wouldn't people do that? And I always, there's some pretty quick pushback on that. I don't want to pay the higher rate, blah, 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 right? So I just looked at these numbers again, and I literally pulled for a scenario yesterday. I used a really good credit score, and 25% down. I did a $1.5 million purchase, right? And I compared the full doc payment to what if we went bank statements, right? So the rate, roughly 0.5% difference to go with bank statements versus full doc, right? So sounds kind of, that was kind of closer than it's been historically, so that was good to see. But also that half point was less than $400 a month difference, right? So yes, you would have a payment that's $400 a month more, right? But what I did is I played with some numbers and tried to figure out, okay, so if this person, I looked at the amount of money that they would have to make to qualify for this 1.1-ish million dollar loan, and then the amount of taxes. I used current tax brackets. I kind of worked them up through all the tax brackets and got to a number, and they'd have to pay about 60 grand in state income tax to qualify full doc. So adjusted gross income of about $60,000. That it would cost them in taxes to make that, to qualify. So we look at that $60,000, and that's 1 year, right? So the question is how many times does it take, what's the break-even point if you just pay the extra $400, right? And it's so far out, and by the way, you got to do that for 2 years, right? So, I mean, you're looking at break-even points that are 8 and 10 years out, and yes, you're going to pay a little bit more every month, but you didn't scratch a check for $60,000 up front to make this thing work, right? And so, hey, look, I know everybody's probably saying, okay, I'm not looking at $1.5 million houses. Maybe you're looking at 3 million. Maybe you're looking at 1 or 600,000-700,000. Great. These numbers scale along with that, right? So, and of course, everybody's circumstances are different, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's so important for people to consider, look, maybe look at a bank statement program. Don't wait 2 years to buy a house, pay a whole bunch in taxes, and then buy down the road, right? I mean, it could make a hell of a lot more sense for you to just pull the trigger now, do the bank statement program, and then run off that way. It'd be a fantastic way to go, and I can help people see what it would look like for their own scenario. So if you're self-employed, or you're a realtor out there and you've got clients that are self-employed and they're wondering how we can put this to work and make it make good financial sense, I'd love to have a chance to sit down and talk with these guys, and we'll run some real numbers. Look, if for some reason it doesn't make sense, then we would let them know right away. I will say these do require, I mean, you're probably looking at a minimum of 20% down. You put less than 20% down on some of these bank statement programs, and the difference between the payments gets pretty wide. But again, we can look at all of these scenarios. So who do you know that's self-employed out there and being told no, but really does want to buy a house? Love to have a chance to sit down with them and show some of these alt-doc programs to see what we can make happen. So that's all I have for today. I'm Bill. I'm with Franklin Loan Center, and I'll see y'all next week.